With the Mega Man X collection and frickin' Mega Man 11 on the horizon, the Blue Bomber has once again been revitalized and brought back into the limelight. More importantly, with Mega Man 11, its existence alone means that Mighty No. 9 has absolutely no reason to exist and was all for naught. That's a lot of backer money I never had to spend, but I'm not even going to get into that. Instead, I'd like to reminisce and share with you guys my history with the Mega Man franchise as far back as I can remember. Growing up, my older brothers had a Super Nintendo, which was the first console I ever played on. There were plenty of fun classics I dove into as a kid, such as Super Mario World and Donkey Kong Country, but there was one game that I could just not keep myself away from and never grew tired of no matter how many times I played it, and that was Mega Man X. X was the first Mega Man game I ever played. It's also one of the earliest games I remember where I had to discover everything for myself. I didn't have Nintendo Power, internet, or any reviews to help me out, and for that reason, playing it felt more personal. It was my own adventure, because as far as I knew at the time, I was the only one playing it, and so I got to see and experience its world all for myself. There's so much to praise Mega Man X for, from its beautiful, colorful, detailed world to its rocking soundtrack that used to send shivers down my spine. I've been humming those synth guitar tunes for years, and I assure you, they will never leave my head. I logged in so many hours day in and day out into this game, even though I never did beat it for the longest time. That was until I discovered the password screen, which I never used because I had no idea what those numbers meant. I don't know why it never occurred to me at the time. You know what, I blame games like Donkey Kong Country for spoiling me with more simplified game-saving features. So after beating X, I eventually got to the classic series years later via the Anniversary Collection on the PlayStation 2, and I just fell in love with Mega Man all over again. There were 8 Mega Man experiences just waiting to be played on here. While they felt kind of foreign and strange at first being so different from the one Mega Man game I had already played, they had a similar charm that drew me right into them. Their music was just as gripping and catchy, and the gameplay got me just as hooked. And if I ever got stuck trying to beat one game, I was free to just hop right into another one and give it a go without worrying about my progress, unlike with X. And jumping between games was never really an issue because all the classic series Mega Man games are extremely similar. Plus, the story doesn't get much deeper than, Wily is at it again, fight 8 more robots, defeat Wily, rinse and repeat. While it is a repetitive formula, there's a reason why I went out of my way to play each and every game that this collection had to offer. I wanted to see all the different stages, the new power-ups and weapons, and my favorite part, seeing all the new robot masters and trying to figure out what powers would be most effective on each of them. See, it's funny, cause I got into Pokemon around the same time, if not earlier, and I tried using Pokemon type weakness logic to try and figure out what weapons would be good against each boss. Something like, oh, Blizzard Man is like an ice type, so he's definitely weak to fire, or Stone Man must be like a rock or ground type, so he must be weak to Wave Man, a water type. Sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't, but it was fun either way. And as for the bosses themselves, I thought they were so cool. All these crazy and unique designs really kept my curiosity piqued as to what kind of fight I would be getting into at the end of each stage. I remember Gemini Man from Mega Man 3 being my absolute favorite. With his catchy theme and his funky level, he really stood out to me. He was also one of the toughest bosses for sure, just because of how damn fast he moves and how he fires at you every time you try to shoot him. It's weird that I never really questioned what the hell his stage, or power for that matter, had to do with his supposed Gemini theme. I mean, during the actual boss fight it makes sense where he makes a copy of himself, Gemini the twins, right? But, laser power up? I don't get it. When I got to Mega Man 7, I felt like I was walking on familiar terrain again, what with its 16-bit graphics like Mega Man X, but the gameplay was still that of the classic series. What I was not prepared for was how difficult this game would turn out to be. Wily's final form in Mega Man 7 has to be the toughest iteration of him in the classic series. You need as many E-tanks as you can carry just to get through that last fight. As for the 8th Mega Man, I'll be honest, I hated this game as a kid. While I was open and accepting of the 8-bit Mega Man games and Mega Man 7, this one was just too different for me. That and there are a lot of stupid frustrating parts in this game. That's what really made me hate it. From the puzzles and traps in Clown Man stage, to the annoying ass maze that is Sword Man stage, and of course, trying to make it to Frost Man through one of the most frustrating levels I have ever had to play. But you know what? Even after all of that nonsense I faced as a kid, I can look at it now and appreciate what it is. Of all the classic series Mega Man games, this one is easily the most visually appealing, and it offers some new stuff the older games didn't have. Like a bigger story and even animated cutscenes, although that last one isn't anything to write home about just because of how god-awful the voice acting is.
You must recover all the energy immediately, Mega Man.
Later on, I found out that Mega Man X was not a standalone game. I never even knew of the existence of the rest of the X franchise until about 2007. I picked up the X collection for PS2 because there was no way I was gonna get my hands on physical copies of X2 and 3, what with their hefty price tags, even back then. I started with X2 of course, and I was immediately drawn in all over again. The familiarity to 1 made playing X2 such a joy because it picks up right where X1 left off. It was so much fun fighting new Mavericks and listening to the new 16-bit soundtracks, even though I find it somewhat inferior to the original soundtrack. Funny story actually, I remember being upset when I got to the first Sigma stage because I was looking forward to listening to the epic music the endgame had to offer. But to my surprise, the music in this stage would skip and repeat for some stupid reason, and it kinda ruined those levels for me. I was so desperate for a genuine SNES X2 experience that I played the Counter Hunter theme from my computer, which was right next to me, and played the game with the volume all the way down. When I got to X3, I was struck with a similar disappointment, with the music not even being in the 16-bit style I love. Instead, the tracks were replaced with some new PlayStation remixes that were added into this version, which I was not a fan of. I know it's not much of a big deal, and honestly it's not, but I felt like it kind of took away what I loved about the first Mega Man X, so it was a little upsetting for me. The new intro cutscenes for the Mavericks were pretty cool though, another little nice touch they added. Aside from my minor gripes with X2 and X3, they're great games on their own. The gameplay was still the same as it was from Mega Man X, but there were new upgrades, new powers, new ways to travel, and new use of vehicles and armors and so on. They took what Mega Man X had and continued to build on it through each installment, and that's what kept me interested in playing those games. So again, with young me living under a rock, I was pretty shocked to find out that there were even more X-series games that I didn't even know about, and that got me pretty excited. I only played parts of X4 and 6 because that's as far as it goes in the series on the PlayStation 2 collection. Someday I'll go back and finish them, but from what I played, they're pretty great games as well and they look fantastic. However, again, because of their dramatic change in style, I was turned away at first, but I came around and realized how cosmetically pleasing X4 to 6 are. Not before long, I would happen upon Mega Man 9 and 10 via the Wii Shop channel and play those too. I have to say, aside from Mega Man 7, I felt that these were the toughest Mega Man games I ever played. 9 was hard but fun, but 10 for some reason just gave me the most difficult time. Those Wily stages were pretty brutal, and hell, even the Robot Masters were pretty hard to read. Especially Blade Man. I can't stand Blade Man. His speed makes Shadow Man look like Toad Man, who literally just hops in one spot. Mega Man 9 and 10 were a nice throwback to the days I'd spent countless hours playing the classic series on my PlayStation, and they were really able to keep the games feeling the same way while throwing some curveballs to keep the Mega Man veterans on their toes. After that, my Mega Man journey pretty much ended there. I never got into any of the spin-off series like Battle Network or Legends, mostly because I either didn't have the funds or the system to support them at the time. So outside of the games I had/played, I was just appreciating the cameos Mega Man would make from time to time and keeping a close watch on Capcom for any surprises. I still quench my thirst via the Legacy Collection and replaying the X games from time to time, but there's still a lot of the franchise worth exploring, even if they're from completely different genres. I mean, from the videos I've posted up until now, it's pretty clear I'm mostly a platform game kind of guy, but I love games from all genres. Platformers is just where I started, and they hold a special place in my heart. And this is why I can't even express my excitement I have towards the upcoming release of a brand new classic series Mega Man game. I get to have another brand new Mega Man experience like the ones I've had in the past, all over again, and in a brand new beautiful art style too. I have a lot of hope for the success of this one, and maybe it'll make Capcom give the Blue Bomber another shot at the spotlight in the future. Well, that's all I have to say for now. Thanks again for tuning in, everyone. If you liked the video or want to share your own experiences with Mega Man, I'd love to talk about it in the comments below. And if you left a like, that'd be cool too. Alright guys, peace.